Here's my very messy pottery studio. We are melting down the beeswax for the second time. And I just want to remind you all that beeswax has a flash point of 204 degrees Fahrenheit, which means you do not get to walk away from this. You put it on the stove, on your hot plate, you need to stay with it. Because once it reaches that boiling point, it's gonna go poosh, and then you might blow up your house. Okay, you probably won't blow up your house, but you might start a fire. And have one of these around and just stay with it. It's not that big of a deal, okay? Throw something on your Netflix, watch some of these YouTube videos, but whatever you do not leave your wax unattended. All right, see you back in a minute. Here we go, that's the wax, this is the scum. I'm gonna take this butter knife and we're just going to slice this off onto a towel. I'm gonna work on this for a minute and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. You can see here we've got a ton of extra stuff that we have scraped off here. This is the front side, this is the back side. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the pot and let it just render down a little bit more cake of wax back into the pot. And we're just gonna pop in some water and we're gonna turn the hot plate, well, I guess I'll plug it in. Let's plug it in first, okay? I'm gonna plug it in. We're gonna turn the hot plate on high. Okay, we're back with wax rendering, and this is the second time that it has been melted with the water in the pot. So this is the top, this is the wax that we'll be keeping. It's got some gunk on the top that will come off. It's not in the wax. And then here's the other side. And this is the stuff that we want to remove, just like we did last time. And remember, you're gonna wanna take this water, this residual water out. You wanna refresh it every single time you render your wax. I'm gonna take this out and just throw it into the yard, let the ground filter that out. You don't wanna put this down your drain. So I'm gonna go do that and we'll be right back. We're back with rendering wax. I'm not sure if you can tell the difference, but this looks a lot better. And it will go back into this pan here. And we've got some fresh water. And we'll just give it a couple of inches worth of water. To run it through this process here at least one more time. After that, then we'll start to use some material to filter out some of the smaller pieces. Here we go with round 3. As you can see, the wax is in here with a couple inches of water. Onto the hot plate it goes. Crank it on high. And all we're gonna do here is let it boil. And as soon as it comes to a boil, we're going to move it over here to this rack and just let it sit again overnight, just like we've been doing every night for the last 3 days. All right, we'll check back in with you soon. Okay, process number 3 in the books. This is gonna cool off here. It's super hot right now. It's gonna cool off overnight. Tomorrow morning, we'll see how good it looks, and we'll see what we're gonna do next, whether we do this process one more time or we bust out the nylons and start filtering this bad boy. Hi, all right, it's been another day. And the wax looks like this now from the last time that we boiled it that you saw. I've scraped off the ends. I've also taken it and broken it into tons of little pieces because now we're going to put it in some cheesecloth and then we're going to boil it. So we'll see how much wax we get versus extra gunk. And we'll see if that is a better way to go. All right, be right back. Here's the cheesecloth. It's about 4 layers worth. We're going to put the wax in. So the theory is the wax is going to melt out into the pot like before, but this extra stuff is going to get caught up in the cheesecloth. So instead of doing a ton of scraping, we'll just take the cheesecloth out and throw it away. So you put it in the middle here, tied to opposing ends. Give get a nice knot, and then the other two opposing ends, and try to get it as closed up as you can. So we're going to give it a nice, good tight knot. Into the pot it goes. And remember, just like before, you're going to want to cover it in water, or not cover it completely. 2 inches in the bottom is fine. Turn this up on high. Let it come to a boil. Just like before, after it gets to a boil, we're gonna set it over here to cool off, and we'll check on it in the morning. It's not boiling yet, but you can see that the wax is starting to come to the surface. All right, it's boiling now, and you can see that all the wax has melted, and all that's left is basically the cheesecloth. So I'm gonna pull this out, and it has become obvious to me that there is still some, you know, like, see these, right, these two things, these two chunks were still in the water, so I probably didn't get it tied up as tight as I should have. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this out, and I'm gonna discard it. Pot here will go over here to rest and cool off until tomorrow morning, and then we'll see what it looks like. We'll see if we've made any progress. We're back. All right. One thing about using the cheesecloth is it feels like a ton of wax is stuck in here, and I'm never going to be able to use this again, I don't think. So it's a little bit wasteful, but it did get a lot of the debris out, and this is what the wax looks like now. And you can see that there are a couple of pieces that are going to still need to be filtered out. And then this is the back. See how nice that looks? I did scrape it, and there was hardly anything on here. What we're going to do now is a separate way of filtering it, a third way, I guess. We're going to use this pot here, and over here in this pan is some water. We're going to break this up into some pieces, pour it in here, and we're not going to put water in this, so it's just going to be straight wax. Okay, we're going to take our wax pieces and pop them right into this. And turn on the heat. Okay, we've got the little side table burner on high. We're gonna let that water boil and melt the wax inside. And then we're gonna filter it through a paper towel into these molds. And that will make them the right size for projects in the future. Okay, be right back. While we're waiting for the wax to melt, we're going to make some kind of a contraption so we can pour the wax into the molds. So I'm just trying to make something up. I haven't had a chance to go on YouTube and see what everybody else is doing, so I just have a ring from a mason jar and paper towel. And I'm gonna make a little cone here, stick the ring over the top, and then spread it out so it kind of like dips down a little bit, like this. And I'll pull this over like so. And I got a rubber band or two here. I'll hopefully hold this on. You're gonna find out with me if it works or not. All right. So that's what it looks like. That's the back of it. And I'll probably cut off some of this extra paper towel so it doesn't catch any wax and absorb into more paper towel. I'm trying my best to not be wasteful with the wax that I have, because you get so little of it when you're just removing burr comb and whatnot. And the process of rendering wax is pretty time consuming. I want to waste as little as possible, which is why I was feeling like the cheesecloth, at least the way I was doing it, I might have been doing it wrong, but I feel like that's pretty wasteful. in the sense that we lost a lot of wax on the cheesecloth, and also the cheesecloth can't be reused again, and it's expensive. Yeah, so we're gonna try it this way and see how, if it gets the rest of the gunk out, and whatever, just if we're gonna find out if it works. We're back, and we have our canning jar ring here with a paper towel filter that we've fashioned on just with some rubber bands. Let's see how this works. All right, I hope you can see this. I'll try to put get my elbow out of the way. I don't know if you can actually see the wax coming out. It's draining through nicely. And it does look like most of the debris is staying in the paper towel where we want it to be. And each of these spaces in the mold holds an ounce of wax. So really rapidly cooling off. I'm going to put this back in the water. So the wax that's in here, I'm just gonna put it back in there so we can waste as little as possible. Get this heated back up and then continue filling. So I'll put a new, but here's what it looks like. And here's all the gunk from the inside. It looks pretty successful. I think I just hate to waste any of the wax. So either method that I use, whether it be, you know, I think I don't have to waste this because I'm gonna be making some fire starters here pretty soon. I've been saving up my lint from my dryer and my toilet paper rolls. And this will be perfect to just shove inside of like the tube. You just like shove this inside of a toilet paper roll, and then then you can use it as a fire starter. So here's a no waste version of filtering. Let's get this back on the heat. And do I dare lift these up when they're not? So you can see that the color has already drastically changed. As these harden overnight, I'll pop them out of the mold and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, see you soon. I thought you might be interested to know that this huge glass container was completely stuffed full to the very top with wax cappings and burr comb. And this is how much wax we got after the rendering. So this is what an ounce of beeswax looks like. And I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. This is not debris right here. It's just a air pocket. It looks nice and clean and happy. It's still warm, so I'm just gonna leave it in here to finish drying. And yeah, if you wanted to, when you pop these out, you can melt the bottom if you wanted it to be perfectly flat, but for my purposes, it's not necessary. All right, so all of that work, you guys, this huge container, I don't even remember how many frames I harvested this summer, but it was the wax cappings for all of those, plus cleaning up all of the frames for winter storage. And there we go. It's like they call honey liquid gold. Like, this wax is liquid gold with my blood, sweat, and tears put into the effort of making it. But I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying the process. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've got any hints or tricks or tips for me, I am down to learn from you. So thanks so much, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye!